Alright, what's up everybody? Today we're going to be doing another Nomad Survival video. This one's going to be on if you like cheese. Because if you like cheese, the Divine is going to be the character for you. The Divine is one of the characters where you will have to unlock it, unfortunately. But the Divine, not that bad to unlock. You just have to destroy the final boss of the first map. So whenever you clear the first map for the first time, you will unlock the ability to purchase the Divine, and the prices for characters not that bad. The Divine is the 5th character, so its SP cost is going to be 500. Its ability is called Imperial Obliteration, pretty fancy, but basically it's just a giant AoE explosion. You cast it, it explodes, clears the whole screen for the most part, and you are actually invulnerable while you're casting. And then maybe like a second or two after that, so if say a boss spawns and you're not able to move and it gets on top of you, you're able to walk away before the boss starts killing you. It's very, very nice. And at level 20 and level 40, it just increases the base damage of the ability. The Divine works pretty good with almost every single heritage, so you have a lot of choices. With Statue, it's a really great combination, especially if you're like soul farming or if you're coin farming. Really, really good. Merchant, also very strong, mostly because the Divine is strong enough with its weapon ability that you don't really need that much else. Obviously, you might want to go for a particular build with the Divine, that I wouldn't recommend the Merchant, but Merchant, totally viable. The Summoner, as always, like I say on every one of these videos, if you're having any issues with projectiles, definitely go the Summoner. With the Divine though, you shouldn't have any issue because you're going to be invulnerable so often that you're actually able to face through most weapon abilities, including the bosses. It's really, really cheesy. The Voidwalker, it's a pretty good class, but with the Divine, you're not actually going to be doing that much moving, unfortunately, so I don't really recommend the Voidwalker unless you're having issues with a lot of enemies like swarming you at the same time. Maybe you're doing a modifier or something. The Poxbringer and the Berserker can be playable if you're very comfortable with dodging and you think that nothing's going to be hitting you. You know, the Divine has enough cheese on it that you're generally able to dodge most damage, but Berserker is one of those classes where even taking a little bit of damage when you're playing a class that doesn't have a built-in HP regen, it's going to be a problem. So I always recommend not playing the Berserker unless you're very, very comfortable on the class. Poxbringer, I don't recommend because the whole point is like you're going to be doing this AoE explosion and you want everything to take damage as that explosion goes off, because if you don't, you're just going to be swarmed. So highly do not recommend Poxbringer. The Nomad I actually think is a very, very good choice for this character because you really want to make sure you get your SP regen up as fast as possible. That way you'll be taking as little damage, and then you can fill it in with whatever else you want. Bossing skills are really strong on this character because while you do a lot of damage, it's not that fantastic for the bosses. So highly recommend bossing skills. So I went the Raccoon so we get the EXP to come towards me, and I'm lazy. But as you can see, the cast is already pretty strong. It's dealing 56, which is way more damage than you need to deal with these first mobs. In general, I would recommend things basically just trying to farm SP regen as fast as possible. I'm kind of picking up whatever because I don't really care too much, but SP regen is going to be huge for this class. Another really, really good passive for this character is going to be miniaturize. If you can get miniaturized to max level and you get 80% evasion, you can pretty much stand still on almost any map and not worry about it. And this includes like 100 times modifiers on the 3rd map. It's a very, very strong combination. And if you just throw in any other weapon skill, highly recommend Colorless Glyph with this class too, in case anything does get on top of you. Because the thing I do dislike about this character is that there's not a lot of moving, and when you can't move, for me personally, I don't enjoy that. I feel like one of the most important things in games like this is the ability to dodge and like walk around, and this class, as you can see, as your SP regen goes up, the ability for me to move goes down. So the faster you're casting, the less you move, and that might not seem like a huge negative. It's just a personal preference of mine. I don't like not being able to move. So what I'd recommend with this character as well is going to be the Curse passive. The curse passive is so strong on this character. We'll roll to it because I got 40 rerolls. So 5% chance for slain enemies to explode on death. This goes all the way up to, I believe it's 60 or 70%. You get 5% for the first 9 levels, and the last one is 15%. So it's going to be 60% chance. And that's huge. And it works really well with this class because for the most part, you're going to be hitting the whole screen, especially if you have Spectral Sword, so you have 2 of them going off. And this is just going to make for fantastic clear if you get curse up. I take things like damage occasionally just for fun, but really all you need is SP regen and miniaturize and then fill with as needed. Like I said previously, it's important that you get a bossing skill. So in regards to killing bosses as fast as possible, I always recommend things like Magic Missile and Fireball because those are directional based abilities. When you're playing this class, the boss is going to be standing on top of you for the most part because you're not moving all that much. So those 2 abilities are really strong for your class. So basically what you'll do is like the boss will spawn, you'll be running around just like you know, a little bit like this, and you'll go off, your ability will go, the boss will stand on top of you, you'll move away in that second when you have invulnerability. And that'll happen for about, you know, 5-10 seconds, however long it takes you to kill the bosses. But the Divine is very strong on every single map. I've done up to 110 times multiplier, 120 times multiplier very comfortably. The only negative is that it doesn't have a built-in HP regen feature, and in those situations I feel like classes like Knight and Whisper are a little bit stronger. But overall, this is one of the best classes. In regards to beta information, the Divine is getting some pretty powerful upgrades, and one of them being you get to move while you're casting, so that like made me extremely happy. That was one of the issues I felt like with the class, and so since you're going to be able to move while casting this stuff, it's crazy. There's also a second evolution path that turns you basically into like Goku on steroids. You just have Kamehamehas going all over the place, and you can get up to 6 beams going at the same time actually. So I will drop that link down below so you guys can take a look because I highly recommend looking into what is going to happen with the Divine. This class is going to be so insanely strong in the future. I really look forward to it. If you want to test it out yourself, definitely just join the Discord and get the beta invite from there. It's a very simple process, takes you like 5 minutes maybe. So highly recommend it if you want to try it out yourself because there are big changes coming for this class. As always, guys, I really appreciate the support, and I will see you on the next one.